Imagine standing in a space no larger than a standard bathroom stall. The air is thick with the scent of industrial disinfectant, cold sweat, and the underlying metallic tang of old radiator pipes. There is no ring here. There are no padded floors, no bright lights, and no referee to step in when things get ugly. You are surrounded by four walls of gray concrete and a steel door that only opens when someone else decides it's time. In this claustrophobic world, violence isn't a sport. It is a sudden, jarring weather pattern that can break over you at any second. If you find yourself in the middle of a confrontation in a space this tight, your fancy footwork is useless. Your long-range kicks are non-existent. You have only your upper body, your elbows, and your ability to turn yourself into a human fortress. This is the crucible that birthed one of the most mysterious and debated combat systems in the world, 52 blocks, often whispered about under the name Jailhouse Rock. People don't abandon.
So, today it is called 52 Blocks. When I was a young man coming up in the Bronx, which was quite a while ago, it was called Jailhouse Rock. This is when it really first started coming out of places like Rikers Island, and we started bringing it to the streets. I was in a gang called the Black Assassins on 180th Street and Daly Avenue. That's where I lived anyway. We were in that area. And we started practicing, and the brothers that came home from jail started teaching us Jailhouse Rock. Now, that's when I was young. Now, over the years, I've studied Wu Style Tai Chi, ambulance, Wu Style Tai Chi with Grandmaster Liang Shum of Yin Jiao Pai, also in New York. Grandmaster Liang Shum just passed earlier I apologize, earlier last year or early this year. I believe it was early this year, early in July, January 2006. Anyway, what I have done and what's been thinking about putting what I've created on video, excuse me, has taken me a while to get together. So I'm show what I'm going to be showing you on these videos. So again, first of all, I just explained two different styles. One was Jailhouse Rock, and as you heard the man say, this was not some pretty type movement. It wasn't even regular fighting because it was made for in-close fighting in the worst situation that you could probably think of besides slavery. Whereas Wu Style Tai Chi, I go to school and we take our time and I take off my clothes and put on some nice Chinese clothes and we move all slow and learn breathing and learn to stand and da-da-ba-da-goo-ba-da-ba. Now, what I have done is taken my childhood, some of my childhood knowledge of the Jailhouse Rock, now called 52 Blocks, and I've combined it so that the 52 blocks is the style. Like you have the style of Tai Chi, or the style of Bagua, or the style of, praying mantis. So, not 52 blocks, but Jailhouse Rock is the style of my system. But the system is the Wu, or comes out of, I didn't change anything coming out of the Wu Style Tai Chi. We're still going to learn to do the breathing. We're still going to learn to do the stances. So once I put them together, I realized it's a new thing. It's not boxing anymore, because in boxing they don't learn breathing and standing. And it's not Tai Chi anymore because just one thing, in Tai Chi you can't lift your shoulders and drop everything. You have to move like you're a barrel or a glass moving like this. You understand? And that's not how you really fight if you're living in the streets where I'm at and from. So what he was saying about the elbows, we do crosses and things like that, blocks like such. You don't go way out here. Here's the block. My head is only this big, so here's the block. That's all I need to do. Block in, or what they call the cell doors, closing and opening. So just one arm closing and opening. So we're going to be. So this is the style. Again, like he said, the hands are always. Let's listen to him for a little while. Let me get this commercial off of him. Okay, let me do that, and then when we get over the commercial, we'll come back.
Decades, this style existed only in the shadows of the American penal system, passed down through whispers and clandestine training sessions behind the gym or in the shadow of the bleachers. It was a secret language of survival spoken in the most dangerous zip codes in the country. To the uninitiated, it looks like a frantic, rhythmic dance of the arms, a chaotic blur of elbows and palms. But to those who know, it is a sophisticated system of kinetic geometry designed for one purpose: to ensure that the man who strikes first doesn't get to strike twice. Is it a legitimate martial art, with roots reaching back to the ancestral warrior traditions of Africa, or is it a gritty, improvised evolution of American boxing, distorted and hardened by the unique pressures of prison life? For years, martial arts historians and street legends have clashed over its origins, its effectiveness, and its very existence. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the invisible
pros and cons of different jobs that allow you to travel the world.
Commercial.
Coding. But why coding? Well,
Son of a...
for one,
Get
the starting
off of
salary is-
there! God dang. That's when you want to use your martial arts when... Dang. Anyway. So, the title of this channel is Cannabis Kung Fu Dao. There's basically three things there. The name of the Kung Fu, I'm not going to reveal yet. Maybe this week I'll start making the actual training videos. But right now, just know the style that we're going to be using is called Jailhouse Rock, which is also called today 52 blocks. The brothers that are practicing that now are trying to establish 52 blocks as a legitimate style that African Americans and Latin Americans developed in the jail system. Not out in the street, not blah, blah, blah. It's the jail system. So you have what he was talking about, you got a lot of arms constantly moving, not like this. The arms are constantly moving, so you don't know where you're going to come from. If you try to punch me here, I might catch your punch and move it and come with an uppercut, cross, whatever. You understand? So it's just meant to, like he said, confuse you. A lot of the movements are to confuse you. It's up close. And there's techniques for different jails had different techniques, not whole different systems. Like in Comstock, the walls are said, I had brothers that went to these jails. The walls are said to be like really thin, so they develop a technique where you fighting them, they put their back up against the wall, and then they can push themselves off and hit you, or make you miss and punch the wall, different things. So each different jail had different techniques according to how the jail was set up. Now, Rikers Island had a mixture of the different systems because when people were arrested in New York City, they went, to court or whatever. But if they got sentenced, they might have went anywhere. They went to Rikers Island is where they stayed, but then they went to Comstock and different different upstate jails. But when they go to court or when they get out, they come back to Rikers Island, and then when they get out, they come back to us, the gang, and they start teaching us what was called, we called it the pretty boy style, because in the New York style, I've seen some brothers, matter of fact, it was one that he said, put your hands up. As soon as I put my hands up, he was already behind me. I'm like, okay. And I've seen some brothers who nice. We used to say nice, like bad. But whatever you do, it's up to you. See, if you can get bad, you can get bad quickly at this. That's the whole idea. Boxing combined with Tai Chi. The Tai Chi is going to be slowly keeping you healthy, slowly making you be able to take a punch like that. But those of us who live in the street or just live in America need a way of fighting fast, not 20 years and then you be like old like me, be like, I know how to fight now. Fuck that. Straight up and down. 10-month course, you be hitting hard. If you take boxing, you're gonna be hitting hard. Plus learning how to breathe in the kung fu side. So it's a new system based on Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do concepts, but I just added a little more classical stuff. I'll get into that later too. Because after I developed the system, I found out of its connection to mathematically, it's connected, since it's based on what's called the I Ching, and the I Ching has been found to be exactly mathematically how DNA comes into existence also. I don't know if I said it right, but when I found that out, I'm like, come on. I mean, I just wanted to make a style where you learn how to fight real fast, and it gets deeper and deeper, and now it's real deep, it's so deep, you can hardly hear it. So, I'm going to start showing my cannabis kung fu soon, but right now, I'm out. Peace.